Hi, welcome back everybody, it's Mike Newton down here at Lytham Golf Academy. New product to review, carrying on the new launch of the Cobra SC SpeedZone, and it's the Xtreme driver I've got in my hands now. So just previously done a review video against the F9 of the standard SpeedZone, which is more of an F9 replacement. This year Cobra have introduced two drivers, and they've also introduced an Xtreme, so ultimately it's like a more forgiving option against the standard SpeedZone. So a little bit longer on that face, the club head, more weight at the back, a little bit more forgiving, maybe for that mid to high handicap, or somebody's looking for that little bit more forgiveness, then this is possibly an option. So we're going to look at this in a little bit more detail, talk a little bit about technology, obviously give you some numbers on GCQuad as always, and we'll see how this new Xtreme driver performs. Okay, so as I said, Xtreme driver, two driver options now from Cobra. We're still seeing the same sort of technology with regards to the infinity face. We've got that sort of SpeedZone section at the back that looks like that twin exhaust at the back there, that skirt, which is similar to what we're seeing the speed back from the F9 era there, which is just going to create a little bit more of that sort of air coming over and exiting that head a lot more efficiently, again trying to create some more speed. A couple of ridges on the top. We've got a full 360 carbon crown as we've seen in the standard SpeedZone. This time the difference is the weight. We've only one weight, so one red weight. There's no front weight option port to put anything in that front, so there's one weight and it's a 6 gram and it's at the back of the club head. So again, that's trying to pull back that weight as far back and as low back as possible. As we know, that increases MOI and forgiveness on those miss hits. The actual shape of the head is a little bit different to the standard SpeedZone, as it's a little bit more longer from that front to back, so visually looks a bigger club head. Even though it's still 4.660, it's just shaped a little bit more from front to back, a bit longer, and that is quite noticeable there, so possibly giving you a little bit more confidence if you're looking for that. So I'm going to get one cracked away. I've got this 10.5 head, but I have lofted this down to 9 degrees. So through the neck sleeve, I've took 1.5 degrees off, so it's got a bit more back to my loft. Hazardous smoke in a 6.5. Okay, and that was the first one there. A little bit heely there. It's just peeled up that right. I reckon that's going to spin up a little bit more there. Probably through my strike. Yeah, it wasn't the longest of hits there, but flew pretty solid to be fair. Sounded good, felt pretty good, even though I did notice it was in that heel section. So that's probably one thing we'll probably notice, or we should notice maybe with the Xtreme head, with that weight further back. Obviously the longer head is a bit more of a higher spin number possibly than the standard SpeedZone. Obviously I had the heavy weight in the front section, the SpeedZone. We haven't got that option with the Xtreme. Ooh, I've hit that one. That felt lovely, and that is a very different spin number. So that's spun at just under 2,200 there. So clearly there, out of those first two shots, strike played a huge part of that spin number, going from 3,300 to 2,147 to be exact on there. Obviously you can see the difference of the ball flight. Strike is playing a huge part as always. But I'll tell you what, again, it's a cracking looking drive, and I said this in a review of the standard SpeedZone, very good shape in it, even though this is a little bit longer, and some guys will put this down and go, oh, that's a bit big and a bit bold, but I think maybe the golfer who's looking for that confidence inspiring head, I think this is going to tick that box. But the shaping of it is lovely, it sits pretty square. As I said, I've got this lofted down 1.5, which does fractionally open the club face, which I don't mind, because obviously my slightly left shot, hopefully this will iron that out, or potentially reduce that left shot. Now that I've said that, I'll probably hit this one left. Oh, no, that's lovely. That's nice. Very neutral that shot. Slightly higher up that club face. I just launched a touch higher there, 285. So probably won't get as much out of this as maybe the SpeedZone, again, because maybe that spin will just pop up a tiny bit for me personally with my speed. But again, golfers who maybe this is sort of aimed at is going to have a slower speed. They're probably going to need that little bit of launch in that sort of golf ball, maybe a little bit more spin to keep that ball in the air. So it is giving a different option. And for the golfer who doesn't really need to switch it to the front, just wants to look at that slightly bigger head, this is the option to have a little look at and have a well, get fitted for you really, because again, I always promote yourself to get fit. Very important. A lot of options through that neck sleeve, lofts, shafts. Tell you what, that feels really solid. Even though it's the bigger version, doesn't offend me at all. That I would sort of prefer slightly smaller up, but that doesn't offend me at all. I could quite easily get used to that, and I quite like that forgiveness level of that, to be fair. That feels really quite solid off the club face. $292, that one. So again, great price point, Cobra here. They're keeping this at £349, which is about $440 US. So fantastic price point in comparison to other of the big brands out there. So I think that's going to tick a lot of boxes for a lot of golfers out there. Definitely put it on their radar to try. Great technology, performs really well. Obviously with the infinity face, we've got the weights in the back section, we've got adjustability in there, we've got carbon wrap. We've got a few different shaft options. We've got the Arcos added in the grip section there if you want to track your shots on the golf course. So you're getting a lot of product, a lot of technology for your money. That's a little bit high up the face, but I'll tell you what, that's flown great. Very neutral. It's going to be a line ball. Yeah, I'll take that all day long. 296. And about a foot away from that centre line. Perfect. Okay, let's look at some numbers and see how that SpeedZone Xtreme is performing. Okay, so looking at dispersion first, quite a nice little tight dispersion there for me. Very happy with that, even though obviously I've only hit 5 shots there, but got those in quite a nice tight dispersion, which is a good positive. Looking at the numbers, so we can see ball speed there, 157.6, so that's a little bit slower than what I saw with the standard SpeedZone there, so not quite as fast off the club face. Again, I know strike's going to play a little bit of part of that. Launched at 10.8 degrees, which is good. Sort of spin at 2,600. Wasn't too bad. That first one clearly was that little heel one. We know strike's just going to pop that spin up a little bit more, so that's probably popped up in the 3,000s more through that strike location. Slightly heel, so he launches at a little bit lower, spins it up, which is weak. Then on your distance at 254, 273. So let me take that one out of the equation. I'm just going to or cross that off, so it takes it off the averages across the bottom, because the others were fairly decent connections there. So 2453, carrying it 270, 292. So getting up at 32 peak height, so a little bit higher than maybe what I saw with the standard SpeedZone. Descent angle coming in at 37, so a little bit steeper there and a little bit more spin. So it's doing pretty much what Cobra's sort of saying. A little bit maybe more forgiveness on those off-centre hits, but again, very good option there for maybe that golfer who's needing that bit more forgiveness, who hasn't quite got the speed, needs that little bit of launch. That's a very good option for them to go and try. Okay guys, so there we go. There's SZ SpeedZone Xtreme driver. So longer from that front to back section, weight solid, connected at the back, can't adjust that. Still got the adjustability in the neck sleeve, so a little bit of a slightly longer head shape to look at. Still a 460, still got the carbon crown, got the T-bar chassis in there, so very infinity face, so very much the same technology you've seen in the SpeedZone, just in that slightly bigger package with more weight pulled back. So bit more forgiving options, so it's great. I think that Cobra are offering those two options there in terms of head shape and size, because I know that's a big influence for a lot of golfers. When they look at a golf club, it's quite an important part, I always find, of it's got to look right, hasn't it? Some guys will pick something up and say, God, that just looks way too big. Like that's more compact, so you've got options there in the new SpeedZone range. Post comments down below, let me know your thought. Would you be an extreme head, do you think, or would you be more than standard with that little bit of adjustability of moving those weights? Love to hear your thoughts as always. Price point, again, it's going to come in at £349, about $440 US. Fantastic price point there against other brands, so I think, you know, big thumbs up to Cobra there, keeping it at that price with still a really good performing club. So is it any better than F9? Don't know. This is a little bit different obviously, but maybe not. But F9 was a very good driver, you've got to remember that. Okay, post comments down below, let me hear your thoughts as always. Thank you very much for watching the video. If you haven't subscribed, hit that subscribe button, and also while you're there, just ring that bell for future notifications, and hopefully we'll catch up with you all very soon.